Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer 40k, and we're going to talk Combat Patrol with Tyranids today. In this video, we're going to go through the contents of the Combat Patrol Tyranids box set available from Games Workshop, and all the models inside it, and what all of them do on the tabletop. We're then going to look at how we can use this force to start as a base for building our army, and we'll continue by looking at some other units we can bring into the force as well to, at the end, give us a 1,000 point army list to start our Tyranid collection with. We'll of course provide that little sample army list at the end of the video for you to get some ideas and some inspiration to create your own Tyranid army list in Warhammer 40k. So, with that all said and out of the way, let's get talking about what we get inside the Start Collecting Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol Tyranids box set. And we get our HQ option, which is the big Hive Tyrant. Now, there are a couple of different Hive Tyrant option models. You have, obviously, the regular Hive Tyrant, you have the Winged Hive Tyrant, commonly referred to as a Flyrant, and the Swarm Lord himself, a special named Tyranid creature that is absolutely devastating on the tabletop. The Hive Tyrant is a Synapse creature. He's really good for keeping all your stuff immune to anything that would make them morale based. So not having to take leadership tests and all of that around because he's a Synapse creature is really cool. But he's also a pretty decent fighter in his own right. He can have a variety of different weapons from his monstrous bone swords or monstrous scything talons, and can also have some heavy weapon options as well in the form of heavy venom cannons, which are strength 9 minus 3 AP, damage 4, or Stranglethorn cannon for heavy D3 plus 3 shots, strength 8 minus 2 AP, damage 2, and blast as well for dealing with some Space Marines. You've got other options there as well. Obviously, the Winged Hive Tyrant will have wings. That's its big thing. It's a really good, fast, maneuverable piece with a full move of 16 inches, which is pretty darn fast. And then you have the Swarm Lord, the big guy himself. He's got some really cool rules like Blade Parry, which will allow him once per turn. The first time a saving throw is made against a melee attack is failed for this model, damage is reduced to 0 as he just parries off the first hit every turn. And he's also got his Bone Sabers, which are plus 1 strength, AP minus 4, damage 3. Really great at rending apart high armor and high wound models. Things like Terminators do not want to face the Swarm Lord. Now, looking into the troops we've got inside the box set, the first set of troops we have are the Termagants, 36 of them in fact, and we have a couple of different options we can go with our Termagants. We can choose to make them what would be known commonly as Spine Gaunts. This would give them twin spine fists. You can see some of them in the back. Or we could choose to make them either Devourers or Flesh Borers. Now, the different options, Spine Fists are obviously Pistol 2, and when you choose to take a Spine Fist, you can have one of them on there. So you've got some cool options with your Spine Fist, but I really do like just the standard Flesh Borer here. Strength 5, AP minus 1, damage 1. Really solid sort of weapon to start out with, and a nice sort of piece there. You could of course go for the Termagant Devourer, which is Assault 2 instead of Assault 1, but it does drop down to Strength 3, no AP, damage 1. They can have Adrenal Glands, which will give them plus 1 move and plus 1 strength. And you could also choose to have Toxin Sacs, which mean any melee attacks automatically wound on a 6, which is pretty cool when you consider you've got a lot of models in the units. But that does put up the cost of them quite dramatically really quickly. Moving on to our other troops choice, the Tyranid Warriors. These guys have a ton of different options available to them. They're much more elite troops with 3 wounds apiece, strength and toughness 5, and 3s to hit with both weapon skill and ballistic skill. They're pretty solid. You can have pretty much anything you would want, and they can fill almost any role in your army. You can have heavy weapon, you can choose to have more light arms, you can choose to be all close combat if you want. They can definitely fill a ton of different roles across your army with access to weapons like the Barbed Strangler, which is Assault D6, Strength 6, AP minus 1, damage 1, blast, or the Venom Cannon, which is Assault D3 and a 36-inch range, Strength 8 minus 3 AP, damage 2, blast. Bone Swords are also a nice option in combat, along with Rending Claws and Scything Talons. You just pretty much have any option you want on these models. Lastly, we have a unit of Ripper Swarms. Just a nice cool little unit. We can have a fast attack option for the Tyranids. Ripper Swarms are just great at being a little nuisance that can go around the table. They're not exactly going to do an awful lot for your force, but they're nice to have. The big thing is you could equip them with spine maws to give them the pistol 4 type attack, but I don't think upgrading them is really worth it. You just go for the base sort of Ripper Swarms and use them as a nice little distraction force. With that all said, let's look at some other units we can bring into the force to expand upon our Tyranid army. And so what other units could we bring into the force? Well, another troop choice I really like in the brand new Tyranid Codex is Gargoyles. For 8 points a model, you're going to get a 12-inch move flyer, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4+, strength toughness 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 5, and a 6-up save. But for me, this is really solid. It's the 12-inch move with the flying ability, the fact they're core as well, and endless multitude. Flesh borers on them for assault 1, strength 5, -1, damage 1 is a really nice weapon loadout. I just really like Gargoyles. I think they've got a lot to them as a fantastic unit just to up your force and give you some more fast-moving troops. These are great for sending around the flanks and capturing objectives deep into your enemy's territory while your opponent's trying to deal with the bigger threats in the army. Another cool choice I like in the Tyranid Codex is I really do like Zoanthropes. Now, Zoanthropes are a psychic unit. They come in units of 3 to 6 Zoanthropes, and you get to have a cool ability, which is Warp Blast, where each time this unit attempts to manifest a Smite or Witchfire psychic power, add 1 to the psychic test for models in this unit, and each time this unit manifests a Smite power, add 1 to the number of mortal wounds suffered for each model in this unit. So, you know, you could be doing quite a decent amount of mortal wounds with your smites, which is really nice. And also, you've got a 4-up invulnerable save thanks to their warp field ability as well. 50 points a model, 150 points for 3 Zoanthropes, I think is a really good steal for an army. Now, because we have looked at a few extra troops, and there are a lot of troops choices inside the initial box set, especially if we're wanting to go 2 units of Termagants, we're going to need to think about an army that's going to need 2 HQ options. And 2 of my favourite HQ options are grabbing some extra big monsters for your force. We've already got a lot of troops, so why not grab another big monster? A Trigon Prime is a big favourite of mine. The fact that he can come up from underground is really nice, so you can keep him off the board and keep him nice and safe. It's just super nice. And on top of that, you've got a really strong monster. 3s and 3s for weapon skill, ballistic skill, and a 10-inch move, I think, with strength and toughness 7, 14 wounds, 12 attacks, leadership 10. This guy can put out the hurt and take it as well. His Trigon Scything Talons are -3 AP and damage 2, really nice. And you've also got things like the Toxin Spike, where each time the bearer fights, you can make 1 additional attack with this weapon, and no more than 1 attack can be made with this weapon whilst resolving. But it is -3 AP, damage 2 as well. Some pretty cool stuff. And you've got your Bioelectric Pulse with Containment Spines as well for an Assault 8, 12-inch range weapon. Strength 5, -2, damage 1 is really nice as a weapon. He can have Adrenal Glands, he can have Toxin Sacs, so a couple of cool extra abilities to get him some extra strength in there as well to make him strength 8, meaning he's going to be punching a lot of stuff on 4s, which is really nice. Other cool abilities are Serpentine Coils, where each time this model makes a linear attack with this weapon, you subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll, which is nice. And you've got things like your Bio Impulse and your Death Throws as well. Just some other cool abilities to add into what is already a good arsenal of weaponry for the Trigon Prime. Tervagons are a different option, and they're not quite as offensively good. Their main thing is they've got some other cool abilities to spawn Termagants to the table. You can select 1 friendly Hive Fleet Termagant unit within 6 in this model, and up to 2d6 destroyed models from that unit can be returned to it. And once per battle, this model can spawn a new unit of Termagants, and if it does so, set up a new friendly unit on the battlefield, not within engagement range of any enemy units within 6 inches of this model. That Termagant unit contains 10 models armed and equipped with flesh borers, and you do not have to pay any reinforcement points for it, which is really nice. Of course, it is a Tyranid monster, so this means you're going to be hitting on 3s with both weapon skill, ballistic skill, and strength 7, toughness 8, and 17 wounds. 4 attacks only, though, means it's not the most offensively powerful Tyranid monster you've got access to, but it does mean this is sort of a different way to go. This is getting you another monster that's hard to put down on the table while also getting you some more bodies and keeping your Termagant units alive. So it's really that option between another heavy hitter like the Trigon Prime or the Tervagon, which is going to support and give more bodies onto the table of your Termagant units. And so here we have a sample 1000 point Tyranid army for you. We've got an entire battalion detachment here. Just because of all the troops we've got, we needed to go for that extra HQ option. So we've gone with the battalion. Now our Warlord is in the battalion, meaning it costs us no command points to actually take this battalion. Now, 58 power level, if that's your sort of thing, playing with power level, and 999 points. We've gone for Hive Fleet Kraken with this army, and so this is going to give us a few things. First of all, the Hive Fleet Adaptation is going to be Questing Tendrils, where we effectively get an AP bonus of +1 every unit that charges. So this is particularly good on obviously all our already good combat units, things like the Warriors, the Winged Hive Tyrant, and the Trigon Prime, all in our army already. But also it gives the option to put our Termagants and Gargoyles in combat with AP -1 in their close combat attacks as well, which is really, really nice. The adaptive rule is also cool as well, where each time a unit with this adaptation advances, if it is not affected by the opportunistic advance stratagem, do not make an advance roll. Instead, until the end of the phase, add D3+3 to a move characteristic. That opportunistic advance is a special Kraken battle tactic stratagem we have available to us, which we can use for a single CP. When a Kraken unit moves, it can choose to, each time that unit advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, until the end of the phase, add 8 inch to the move of that unit. Which is pretty cool. And models in the unit do not suffer a penalty for hit rolls for firing assault weapons in the same turn that unit has advanced. Now, on our Winged Hive Tyrant, who is going to be our Warlord, he's going to have a cool ability called One Step Ahead, where each time your opponent uses a stratagem, this Warlord is on the battlefield, roll a d6, and on a 5+, you gain a command point, which is really nice. He's also got the Bio Artifact Relic Chameleonic Mutation, where each time an attack is made against the bearer, you subtract 1 from hit rolls, and the hit roll cannot be re-rolled in any way. So a nice couple of defensive abilities on the Hive Tyrant we've got. Now, speaking of abilities, we've gone for a couple of psychic powers. First of all, we've got Paroxysm as our first psychic power on our Winged Hive Tyrant. Paroxysm is going to allow us to pick an enemy unit they can't fire Overwatch or be set to defend, so pretty cool. And Onslaught is going to give us the ability to put it on models in the unit that do not suffer penalties for hit rolls for firing assault weapons, same as the stratagem, so 2 ways to potentially get that. Models in the unit do not suffer penalties for firing heavy weapons, and the unit is eligible to charge even if they advance. So run and charge, advance and charge, pretty nice. We then last have the Trigon Prime. We've got Adrenal Glands on him, like we do with the Winged Hive Tyrant for that +1 strength, +1 move. And that's pretty much all there is for the big guy. Troops-wise, 2 units of Termagants, both with 16 models, all with Flesh Borers, and then a unit of 15 Gargoyles, all with Flesh Borers as well. It's just a solid mass of Tyranid bodies on the table. We then have 3 Tyranid Warriors as our last troops option. 2 of them are rocking dual bone swords. 1 of them is going to have a venom cannon for some nice long-range firepower, and they're all going to have adrenal glands, meaning those bone swords are going to be incredibly deadly in combat because they're providing some pluses to our strength on top of the adrenal glands as well, really making them be able to hit nice and hard. Lastly, we've got 3 Zonothropes in our elite slot here, slotting in and providing us with some nice additional psychic powers in Catalyst, which is a good defensive power. And then 3 Whipper Swarms as just our last unit that came inside a starter box, so why not include them? Cheap, nice little throwaway unit we can use to sort of threaten opponents or stuff around the table. Any lone sort of weaker characters or remnants of units are not going to want to go into the Ripper Swarms. They're going to be able to pick off those things and do some little jobs around the table for us. With that all said, that is what we're going to be looking at for our Tyranids 1000 point force. What do you think? How have you been playing with the Tyranids with the brand new codex that's coming out soon? Let us know how you've been going down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And leave a comment down below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either via Patreon or YouTube members, and both of those are linked again down in the video's description. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, I'd like to give a shout out to them all. So a special thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynet226, and Derek. And a special shout out to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Locklorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Shelf, Ariana Edwards, and Sean Scott. Lastly, a special thanks, first of all, to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for our channel, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing Discord server background work for us. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.